24 hours before the raid, Kim Kardashian decides to unfollow Diddy, right? Well, come to find out, this person by the name of Lou Taylor is apparently Diddy's manager. Lou Taylor apparently is paying off, allegedly, some of Diddy's victims from this slush fund through some church fund, okay? Not only that, Kim Kardashian mama has been making these girls pay 10% tithes to some church that Lou Taylor and her husband is basically owner, co-owner, or whatever. So I was like,
y'all, Kanye West is out here saying, honey, to Miss Kim Kardashian, trying to take her down for real this time. And it goes way beyond dragging on social media because he is throwing her into a messy case with the feds, right beside her former BFF, Diddy. Now see, for a long time, people have suspected that Kim allegedly knew something about Diddy's alleged crimes, at least more than she was letting on, because she was moving real shady once the feds started sniffing around. But according to Kanye's account, not only did Kim allegedly know, but she also allegedly took part in Diddy's shady businesses, because she was allegedly helping him launder his dirty money and silencing his victims while taking out a nice little cut for her troubles. And if that's not messy enough, Kanye also revealed how Kim, Diddy, and Lou Taylor allegedly plotted to put celebs under a conservatorship and steal their money. Y'all, Kanye came with a whole lot of tea to spill, and he ain't holding nothing back. Yeah, she's a gold digger, way over town. That ain't good too, yay.
And as, look, they tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me. And they when I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears too. I mean, look at
they would have Michael Jackson
or worse, yeah. So I guess what they did. Look at what they did to Britney. When she went in, she was tired, she was exhausted, she was in a bad way. But 10 years of that medication wrecked her brain.
Y'all, Kanye is back on Kim's tail, and he is dragging her for filth again. Now, Kanye dragging Kim is nothing new, because there was a time he used to call her out on social media every 3 to 4 business days, talking about how she was a bad mom and was fast in these streets and all types of stuff. But this time he isn't accusing her of being a bad mom or nothing like that, because now he's accusing her of criminal activity, claiming that she allegedly helped Diddy launder money. So it looked like Diddy was about to be brought up on some money laundering charges, as well as everything else he had going on with the feds. And 2024 is definitely going to be the year that Diddy went down. Now, the thought of Kim Kardashian, a billionaire, getting involved in some money laundering might sound crazy, but y'all will be shook if you found out the crazy things that rich people do for money. In this case of Kim, she has a long and verified track record of making shady deals for money. Y'all, she was even investigated and interrogated by the FBI for being tied to money laundering in the past. So y'all know that Kim has been running the streets for a long time. She ain't new to this, she true to this. So when you think about Kardashian sisters and their history, Kim's got her big reputation for being shady, right? I mean, this goes back, even before she was in the limelight. You probably know she did a stint as a closet assistant for celebs, like Paris Hilton and Brandy. But here's the kicker, there's a lesser known story about her pulling off a heist from Brandy's mom. Back in the day, Kim was sorting out Brandy's closet, and somehow she got her hands on Brandy's mom's credit card info. Very sneaky, right? Well, after Kim was done with her closet duties, she, Khloe, and Rob decided to make a move. She stole $120,000 from Brandy's mom's account. And get this, Kim had stopped working for Brandy ages before this happened. But she held on to those credit card details like they were gold. They waited until they thought the coast was clear, and then bam, they went for it. Now you'd think that stealing that much money would lead to some lavish spending spree, right? No, not these guys. Instead of blowing it on fancy cars or exotic trips, they decided to keep it in the family, literally. They pumped it through their own stores, Dash and Smooch. Talk about keeping it in the Kardashian circle. But here's the kicker, Kim and her crew thought they were being slick by funneling that stolen cash into their clothing store. You know, laundering, trying to make it look like it's legit income. income, meaning that they more or less laundered this money. But surprise, surprise, they got busted. Turns out those transactions were about as unauthorized as they come. But here's where it gets juicy. Brandy's mom, she's got a heart, you know. She gave Kim the chance to make things right, probably because of her friendship with Kim, ties to Brandy and Ray J. But when Kim and the gang refused to cough up that money for over a year, she had no choice but to bring in the big guns, the law, with the whole lawsuit. But Brandy and Ray J convinced their mom to drop the lawsuit and handle things off the record. According to Ray J, this whole ordeal was the final nail in the coffin for their relationship. Years later, Ray J revealed that this is the real reason why he dumped Kim, saying, "Apart from them stealing money from my family, we would probably still be together now. But when that happened, I said, I don't want to be sleeping around with you no more. You stole money from my family, so that's why we stopped speaking." But you would think after that situation happened, Kim would have never done something like that again, right? Well, just like Brandy's song says, never say, never say, never say never. Because Miss Kim was out here doing some more shady stuff after that. Right around the time Brandy's mom confronted Kim about the cash, a little tape starring Kim and Ray J found its way into the spotlight. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. Ray J seemed to think there was more to it, and it kind of makes you wonder. And get this, Kim's no stranger to getting mixed up in that shady business. Before she started making her own money, she had a little sugar daddy, a man named Joe Lowe. And let's just say, there's been some talk about Kim helping him clean up some dirty money. According to reports, Kim often flew with him to gamble, and in 2009, she claimed to have flown back to LA with a trash bag containing $250,000 cash that he won from gambling in a casino in Las Vegas. Well, as it turns out, that might have been a money laundering scheme, because Joe Lowe has since been exposed for being involved in a whole laundering scheme. The Insider wrote, Lowe is wanted by international authorities in connection with the multi-billion-dollar money laundering scam. He is accused of being the mastermind behind a scheme to siphon $4.5 billion from the Malaysian state-run Economic Development Fund, One Malaysia Development Berhad. In 2019, Kim was quizzed by the FBI about her involvement with Joe Lowe, but they couldn't pin anything on her, so she wasn't charged for anything. But that was not the only time that Kim was investigated by federal authorities, because in 2022, she was investigated by the SEC after she advertised the cryptocurrency Ethereum Max without adding a disclaimer to show that it was a sponsored ad and that she had gotten paid to do it. By advertising without stating it was an ad, she had taken part in a pump and dump scheme that was aimed at increasing the price of the cryptocurrency before it was sold to investors, and she was fined $1.26 million. But as it turns out, Kim isn't the only Kardashian with a knack for shady business. Kris Jenner, the momager extraordinaire, has her own game going on. You might have heard of the California Community Church floating around. Well, yes, Kris Jenner co-founded that church back in 2009. And here's the kicker. Kris set it up as a nonprofit, which sounds all nice and warm and fuzzy, but to be a member, you gotta fork over a whole $1,000 every month. Oh, and don't forget about that sweet 10% tithe that they were, of course, encouraging. That's right, 10% of your annual income and $1,000 every month. But guess who's leading the charge on that? You guessed it, the Kardashians. So let's start crunching some numbers, shall we? Kim's pulling in around $80 million a year. So that's an $8 million tax bracket just from that tithe. Not too shabby, huh? But wait, there's more. Since Kris is the brains behind the church, when the Kardashians toss that 10% into the collection plate, it's basically like handing it right back to Mama Kris. It's like a money merry-go-round. They gave, she gets, and somehow they end up with a fat tax break. And if that doesn't scream shady, then I don't know what is. Now, the interesting thing about this is that Kanye had his suspicions about Kim's activities, and he went to great extents to keep his finances very separate from Kim's, even though they were married for years, and he was convinced that she was the love of his life. He knew that it was only a matter of time until she got busted, and he didn't want no parts of all of that. A source told People magazine they keep their accounts basically separate. West will talk about my money and her money. Well, allegedly, Kanye is claiming that in addition to all of this, Kim has allegedly been laundering money for Diddy all along. Kim and Diddy go way back. I mean, she even followed him on Instagram for years. But then out of the blue, she hits that unfollow button just 24 hours before Homeland Security rolls on Diddy's houses. Coincidence? Maybe for some, but for those of us who know Kim's MO, it's all too calculated. But once that drama went down, folks started poking around Kim's closet, so to speak. And let me tell you, what they found is straight up crazy. Turns out that there's some serious tangled webs between Kim and her family and Diddy's allegedly shady dealings. But here's where it gets crazy juicy. Get your teacups ready. There's this TikToker, BB the songwriter, who went full detective mode on Kim and her supposed involvement with Diddy. And it turns out that Kim has also allegedly had ties to Britney Spears' conservatorship. Yo! And get this, they even suggest Kim tried to pull the same stunt on Kanye, trying to get her little grubby little hands on his money. So it would no longer be his money, her money, but all her money. Now this theory gains some serious traction when you start to realize Kim's tight with Lou Taylor, the mastermind behind Britney's conservatorship. Lou's the owner of TriStar Sports and Entertainment Group. Let's just say she's got a reputation for some shady moves. Y'all remember Kris Jenner's church that I spoke about before, right? Well, Kanye is now claiming that Kim is allegedly using the church as a money laundering front for Diddy. And if that's not bad enough, she also allegedly been using the church as a front to pay off Diddy's victims and silence them.
24 hours before the raid, Kim Kardashian decides to unfollow Diddy, right? Well, come to find out, this person by the name of Lou Taylor is apparently Diddy's manager. And this Lou Taylor woman is also on the board of Hillsong's church home. Follow me, go with me. They are doing all of this, child, in the name of the Lord. Just follow the story. Now, to cover myself, everything in this video is a legend, honey. This is what I digged up, and I don't know how much truth is to it, but there's reportings, okay? So everything that I'm saying is allegedly. Keep that in mind. So, Lou Taylor apparently is paying off, allegedly, some of Diddy's victims from this slush fund through some church fund, okay? Not only that, Kim Kardashian mama has been making these girls pay 10% tithes to some church that Lou Taylor and her husband is basically owner, co-owner, or whatever. So I was like, let me look into this Lou Taylor person. I'm thinking Lou Taylor was a guy who was a woman with a husband, whole husband, and they doing ministry and everything. Now, mind you, y'all remember the whole thing with Britney Spears? So come to find out, Lou Taylor, this gets deep, y'all, hold on. Okay, so Lou Taylor is the CEO of TriStar Sports and Entertainment. She's like a business manager icon. Now, Mike, do y'all know the Lohans? What's the Lindsay Lohan? So she apparently, allegedly, she has been behind most of these stars' conservatorship situations, especially Britney Spears. So before we talk about Britney, Mike Lohan, which is the Lohan girl, Lindsay Lohan's daddy, accused Lou Taylor and the mama Dina Lohan for trying to put Lindsay Lohan in a conservatorship concerning her money. Also, allegedly, there's a lawsuit from 2021 with Astroworld tragedy, and she's being sued for employment discrimination. This is what this Lou lady is. Now, Lou Associates maintain intense control also over Britney Spears' life and money. And she was behind even the conservatorship of why Britney Spears had that conservatorship, because she ended up becoming the business manager and took over the financial pieces of Britney Spears' whole situationship.
Y'all, I hope TikTok never goes away, because this tea is crazy. Kim is in a whole hot mess, and the fans are putting two and two together, and they've been leaving comments saying, wow, nothing surprises me with the Kardashians. That young lady speaking on that video certainly had a lot of incriminating information. Kim's time is up. She's losing business with Hulu and others. Depending on the outcome of the trials with Diddy, will determine whether she can still be on TV or make endorsements or get endorsements. She is on borrowed time right now. Me thinks she will go down with Diddy, and that will be that. And the jails won't have enough space to hold all these evil people. Y'all, this situation is crazy. Looks like Miss Kim Kardashian might be bound to falling in jail. Honey. Drop your thoughts and comments below and check out this next video.